Hey guys, it's Gus, and I'm here in the training room with one dummy up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one encounter power called Thorn Ward, and it hits 6 times. But with the power of rings and enchantments and comp bonuses and whatnot, I'm going to try to get it to hit over 100 times. And I have done this multiple times before this. My last one was 99. Had a 99, a 98, two 96s, and three 94s, and I've had a couple in the 80s. So if it does hit 100, I have to go through and manually count. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to input all the numbers into Excel, and then I'll clip that and I'll explain the breakdown. Because this is not feasible, but it's interesting because there's not a lot for me to do right now in the game. So I'm just playing around trying to figure out if there's any loops. All right, so here we go. Well, let me get Ferocity activated, which is a very common. You don't have to try to get Ferocity activated in combat because it's almost always up because it works if anybody in the team gets hit. So I have to kind of force it by just getting hit first. I don't know what's taking this guy so long. Usually he's up by now. Mm-hmm. If you notice, I have my combat log completely clear. Okay, there's Ferocity. Let's go and get hit one more time. Okay, there we go. Let's see how this goes. Now I have to manually count this when it's done, so bear with me. Man, I've came close so many times. And at the 99, I was like, oh, let's do this. And then I said, oh, I'm so close. All right, damage is done. Manually counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 19, 20, 21, 33, 34, 40, 50, 60, 60, 70, 80, 90, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Ooh, 111 hits. Okay, we finally got over 100. And that was big time going over 100. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in an Excel spreadsheet and write down all these damage numbers, and I'll come back with the result. This, hey, this would probably never work and probably not ideal, but it is interesting. All right, I'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, I'm back, and hopefully these two clips go together. I'm not the best at editing, but so what I did is I went through and took every single one of these 111 hits, and I put them in an Excel spreadsheet. I just wanted to see what they were all doing, and there's actually some kind of weird insights. So, first of all, it was not 111 hits. It was 105 hits. There was a number of hits in here that hit for zero. Let's see if I can find them real quick. I don't want to focus too much on that. One of them was from I had the vicious direwolf in utility, and he dodged it. Okay, right there. So when I was counting, going through and just counting every single one of them, right? But this I counted, and it didn't do any damage, so I had to remove that. And there was most of the time when you hit with your companions like Rat Pup, there will be a zero damage in there from slow, and there was a few of those. So there was not 111 hits when I first counted. There was 105 hits. So first of all, this is weird. I will after I go through the numbers, I'll go count this up. Our very first hit, obviously, was from our Thorn Ward, right? Uh, that was our main hit, and this hit for a lot. But the tooltip says it hits for 6 times. It actually hit for 9 times, for a total of 1,504,665. And the numbers really don't matter too much. I'm just looking at the counts and see if there's any bugged interactions, because obviously the numbers will go up if I am not optimal whatsoever. But altogether, all these hits added up to 3.68 million. So Thorn Ward was only 41% of the damage. We improved the damage of Thorn Ward by an extra. We more than doubled it using all this damage, right? So Thorn Ward was 41% of the 3.68 million. So we have three companions in here. We got Rat Pup, Were Rat, and you notice they're not buffed or anything. I didn't give a shit. I just want to see what they do. So we got Hanks, Were Rat, and Rat Pup. I did this before a few months ago, but these companion powers got some big fixes. Three fixes that I can see so far. The three fixes that I'm seeing is, first of all, the buff doesn't refresh anymore. So if you notice when you apply this, it does 3 ticks of damage over 4 seconds. And the problem with that is if you reapply it, it will cancel the remaining ticks. Well, they don't do that anymore. They stack. So you can have this buff up twice or even 3 times going at once. So you get the full damage from these. So that was a big fix. Another fix is they weren't reapplying from a lot of the encounters that we see. So when I would cast Thorn Ward, it would only apply the first time, and none of the every tick after that would hit for 0. He would dodge them all. So it was funny. He dodged this vicious dire wolf, but he's not dodging these anymore. So these companion powers got big buffs. So they apply to all powers. Uh, they stack instead of refresh, and there's one more. It was in the AHR Discord. We were talking about it a couple weeks ago. I'm trying to figure out what the third buff was. This is a big one. Well, buff or fix, however you want to call it. But anyways, when I tried this last time, these powers were not working that good. Trying to do this, get a lot of hits. I was getting nowhere near 100 because these were not proccing. So I also had on Ferocity. Ferocity got a total of 5 ticks of damage. So we literally would have got 100 hits even if we didn't have Ferocity. Assuming Ferocity didn't proc any other powers. Um, I did put on a Enchantress Hex, hoping one of these procs of damage would activate it. It didn't activate any at all. I wanted a high crit rate because I'm using the 3 journals, and that only activates when you crit. So obviously, I wanted to have a higher chance of those journals proccing. So I had the Mythalar set on, and you get every time you hit, you get a combat advantage. Hit, you get this to activate, and so that procced off of all 9 hits, and I got combat advantage by using this spawned warrior and standing right here, gave me combat advantage. I did not want to use a summon companion because they'd mess up this whole damage log, so I used an augment. Um, I also used the Ring of Air, or Band of Air, and Ring of Darkness. So the Band of Air and Ring of Darkness actually got us. We got 11 hits from Dooming Darkness. Dooming Darkness does 10 hits, and then the 11th hit is the 10 hits combined. And then we got 5 Blast of Air. Now, what we did not get, though, is we did not get the Airy Defender. So this one does Lingering Darkness. We didn't get Airy Defender, which is I was hoping to because that's a lot more hits. So this we can get way more than 105 hits. I was just seeing if we could get 100 for now. I'll probably stop. So what gave the most ticks of damage though was were these 2 overloads. I used the Black Dragon Glyph and the Red Dragon Glyph. The Red Dragon Glyph, every time you hit, if this is activated, it will do an additional hit. And this does the damage over time. And I also had on Curse Burn, but Curse Burn didn't hit one single time. What the hell? So that kind of messed it up. So I don't know if Curse Burn is not working off of Thorn Ward. I'll check that when I'm done going through these. So altogether, we had 9 hits of Thorn Ward. Uh, Hank, Were Rat, and Rat Pup each had 9 hits, so those procced 3 times on that one encounter. Ferocity hit 5 times. Raw Pressure hit 9 times. Storyteller of those 9 Thorn Ward hits, only 5 of them were critical hits. So the Storyteller only procced 5 times. This acid aspect of the acid from Black Dragon Glyph, this proc 20 times. This is a lot of hits. Cold damage. Cold damage is an additional bonus you can get from the 3 journals. It's the really small, very minimal number. It says do an additional hit for weapon damage on critical hit. That's not it. Your powers have a chance to deal additional unresistible damage equal to 10. That's the cold damage right there. And we actually got that to proc 1, 2, 5 times. Wow. We also had 2 Bloodlusts activate from that one encounter. And Bloodlust is this Master Boon right here. Whenever you use an encounter, you have a 10% chance. When it procs 9 times, you have a chance of it procking more than once, and we did on that attempt. Dooming Darkness hit 11 times, obviously. Is that this one? Lingering Darkness becomes Dooming Darkness, does less damage per tick, but the final tick does 10 times damage. So it did 10 hits plus the big 11 hit. And that was working exactly as stated. Each hit was 7,680. And then the last hit for 76,798. So it was missing 2 damage, but that's probably a rounding error. Blast of Air actually hit fairly nicely. Blast of Air hit 5 times for 250,000 damage. The last hit was really low. It was 1/3 of the previous hits. So a total of Thorn Ward was 41% of the damage. Hank and Rat Pup were 15%. Were Rat was 11. Ferocity was a 1%. Raw Pressure was 2%. Storyteller was 1%. Aspect of the acid, even though it hit for 20 times, it's such a small number. It's unreadable. Same goes for cold damage. It was so low. Bloodlust was 3% of the damage, and Doomy Darkness was 4% of the damage. Aspect of the Flame was 0%. That hit 7 times. And Blast of Air was 7% of the damage. Oh. Blast of Air did more damage in the Dooming Darkness, almost twice as much as Dooming Darkness. So I just want to see if we can hit 100, 105 times. Stick around with me if you want. I'm going to test a couple things that didn't quite add up. Well, they did add up, but they just don't make sense. So I'm going to see if I can make sense of it. So let me take off all this junk. I don't want any of these more procs to happen. Delete. I'm going to see why Curse Burn wasn't activating. I'm very curious about that. Companions. Frosty won't matter. Chander's Hex wasn't working, obviously, so let's take off these. Oh. Alright. So Vicious Dire Wolf was a complete waste. We probably could have put an Owlbear. I've gotten Owlbear to proc twice, actually. And I think that's it. Oh, and I put on Bladestorm. That didn't get any activations. Even though I was using a range encounter, I was hoping some of the ticks might count as melee damage, but none of them worked. Alright, so what I'm going to do right now is see how many times this Thorn Ward is hitting for, because the tooltip says 6. So I'm clearing out the damage log. And here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow, there was 2 Bloodlusts in there, right? So 1 Thorn Ward, 1, 2. There's a second Bloodlust. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so Thorn Ward hits 9 times. I'm not complaining about that. So if you noticed, Curse Burn did not activate on either. You see Curse Burn anywhere in here? I don't either. So let's go and unsummon this guy. And let's take off Curse Burn, and let's put on Poison Thorn. Or, yeah, Poison Thorn. Let's see what happens with this. So I would have got more ticks if I would have had this, if it works. Here we go. There's the Poison Thorn, I think. Oh, no, it was Bloodlust. What the? God, these power, there's so much wrong with the Ranger. You almost want to say, that's not fair that Thorn Ward's hitting 9 times and not 6. Well, you gotta, if you take away all the bugs, look at that. Thorn Ward, Thorn Ward, Thorn Ward. I'm gonna clear out this damage log again, and I'm gonna show you Curse Burn did not activate a single time. Let me just, let me make sure Curse Burn is working. Thorn Ward, does he have the poison on him? Huh? Poison Thorn. Okay, there's the, come on. So Poison Thorn's working. Let's go in. The enemy has no debuffs. Let's do that one more time. Get a Poison Thorn. So Poison Thorn, we set a little poison damage. Here it comes, like 3 seconds. There you go. There's the poison damage. So it's working. It's just not working with Thorn Ward. None of the hits will activate it. Let's do that one more time. I'm going to just double check to verify. And I did not see that. Such a weird power. Man. Has a high chance of proccing Bloodlust. That's great. You want that activated. Uh, what the heck? Okay. So the good thing is when you're doing this kind of weird stuff, you see stuff that probably shouldn't happen either. So we just found 2 inconsistencies with the tooltips with this Thorn Ward. It's all kinds of jacked up, but still really good power. All right, well there you go. 105 hits. I imagine we might be able to get to like 130, maybe even more. Well, thanks for joining. If you got any questions or comments or any improvements to this, please comment below. Stay class, Neverwinter. See you soon.